it takes a talented individual to capture the player's attention with a game's musical score. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 video game music composers. For this list, we've chosen the best and brightest music composers who take us on a musical journey from the first note we hear. We've excluded composers such as Hans Zimmer and Gustavo Santaolalla, who, despite working on Crysis 2 and The Last of Us respectively, are mostly regarded as movie composers. Plus, they've only really done one game apiece. Number 10. Darren Korb. The multi-talented Darren Korb was selected to write the soundtrack for the indie games Bastion and Transistor by game designer and director Amir Rao, who just so happened to be childhood buddies with Korb.
Think I'll go where it suits me. Moving now to the country.
His musical style blends different genres together, lending an impressive sound design to the games. Bastion has its unique narration element, with acoustic sounds evoking wonder in the exotic fantasy world the gamer is discovering.
And remember, you ain't in this alone.
While Transistor offers something more futuristic and electronic to fit its world.
Hi.
Much like the games themselves, both soundtracks have received great reviews.
Oh, we are the
Number 9. Jasper Katten.
Assassin's 2 lends itself to quite a cinematic soundtrack.
What do the Hitman, Borderlands, and earlier Assassin's Creed games have in common? Besides being fantastically fun yet violent games, their scores were composed by Jasper Katten.
I've been giving a lot of creative freedom on the Assassin's games, and it really allows us to create something as unique as the Assassin's games are.
The Danish composer beautifully crafts emotional yet ominous musical pieces that fit the atmosphere of his games perfectly. Using both acoustic and electronic elements, as well as an orchestra and choir, Kid gets your heart pumping as you're about to assassinate someone as Agent 47, about to assassinate someone else as a member of the Creed, or just murder a whole bunch of psychos as a vault hunter. Kid also composed the soundtrack for the vastly underrated Darksiders 2. Number 8. Harry Gregson-Williams.
I think I was one of the first Hollywood film composers to do the music for a game. And that was what the director of the game really wanted.
Before Hideo Kojima approached him to score the much-anticipated Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty, Gregson-Williams was a big-time Hollywood composer who never thought he'd work on a video game. Luckily for us, he agreed, spawning a new age of high-quality production values with a cinematic feel in video games. Williams has since worked on all Metal Gear Solid games, and he's also composed the main theme for Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Grandiose and epic, Williams' score set the stage for heart-pounding action and tense drama. Number 7. Manami Matsumae. Composing the soundtrack for one of the most influential games of all time, Manami Matsumae also created the iconic sound effects and the title screen jingle for Mega Man. She was employed with Capcom in the late 80s to early 90s, lending her musical talent to such games as Mega Man 2. She began freelancing soon after her departure, most notably contributing to the soundtrack on the indie darling Shovel Knight. She eventually reunited with Capcom and worked on Mega Man 10. Also, fittingly enough, her next work will be featured in the spiritual successor to Mega Man, Mighty No. 9. Number 6. Jeremy Sewell.
I really want the entire gamut of the experience of the music to reflect the real world, not just the virtual world.
Synonymous with Western RPGs is Jeremy Sewell, the man behind the music in the Elder Scrolls and Guild Wars series. Sewell started his career off in Square, joined Humongous Entertainment, and eventually formed his own musical production company, Artistry Entertainment, with which he has found his greatest successes. He mixes various styles of music, including orchestral arrangements and tribal influences. Sewell has won multiple awards, has a BAFTA nomination to his credit, and, most prestigious of all, has been called the John Williams of video games for his epic soundtracks. Now, that's a compliment. Number 5, Yasunori Mitsuda.
これほどまで皆さんに愛されてるっていうのがあまりこう信じられないんですよね、正直なところ。
With the help of the legendary composer Nobuo Uematsu, Yasunori Mitsuda got his first job at Square as a music composer, although he was really a glorified sound engineer. He gave the then Vice President Hironobu Sakaguchi an ultimatum: let him compose or he walks. Mitsuda was then officially assigned to work on a little game called Chrono Trigger. His career took off and he never looked back, composing music for such games as Chrono Cross, Xenogears, and Soul's Sacrifice. With keyboard in hand, he keeps a minimalist approach when it comes to creating musical masterpieces. Number 4, Austin Wintory.
We are able to do things with reckless abandon, and we don't know what we can't do, and I love that.
The soothing sounds of Flow and the emotional melodies of Journey are Austin Wintory's claim to video game fame. The dynamic musical interaction between player actions and the gaming environment in Journey is a marvel to behold. Wintory makes it high on this list because he was nominated for a Grammy for Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media for Journey. This is the first and only instance where a video game was nominated at the most prestigious award show for music, giving video games everywhere the recognition they truly deserve. You can also hear his work in The Order 1886, but to do that you'd have to play it. Number 3, Yoko Shimomura.
聞いてくださる誰かがやっぱり聞きたいって思ってくださってるうちはやっぱり頑張りたいなと思ってます。
You're gonna make it high on this list when your body of work consists of video game excellence such as Street Fighter II, Super Mario RPG, and Kingdom Hearts. The talented Yoko Shimomura has worked with legendary gaming companies like Capcom and Square, honing her craft and creating fantastic musical scores, mixing classical music with electronic elements. We're anxiously awaiting for the next title she's currently working on, RPG behemoths Final Fantasy XV and Kingdom Hearts 3. Number 2, Koji Kondo.
できるだけそうですね、キャッチーなメロディーになるようにいつも心がけています。
Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda. We dare you to try to envision these things and not hum their tunes in your head. Arguably the most iconic video game composer, Koji Kondo has created masterpiece after masterpiece for gaming's greatest franchises. If it's a major release for Nintendo, you can bet your bottom dollar that Kondo composed the music, showcasing his ability to create something magical and memorable. His legacy goes hand in hand with Nintendo's unending success. Koji Kondo is to Nintendo's music what Shigeru Miyamoto is to the company's game design. Before we unveil our #1 video game composer, here's a look at some honorable mentions. Number 1. Nobuo Uematsu.
To me, creating the music for the Final Fantasy series is something I just do. Not just as a living, but because I just like to create music.
Hundreds of masterpieces have been gifted to the gaming world from Nobuo Uematsu's incomparable imagination. We get chills every time we hear Final Fantasy VII's One-Winged Angel. His compositions demand attention, mixing electronic guitars with classical and orchestral pieces, blending both European and Japanese influences. But it's not all heavy-handed melodrama, since he also composed the theme for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Uematsu's body of work in the Final Fantasy series transcends everything we've heard in gaming history. He didn't just make catchy tunes, he elevated gaming music to unparalleled heights, creating unforgettable art that will forever be carved into our minds. Cue the victory theme. Do you agree with our list?
非常に満足してますね。
Let us know which video game music composer you would include on your list. And for more awesome top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
At the end of the day, one's just making music.